Welcome back to HPL. We saw Kaldi take a 1-0 lead over Ek0p here with a Druid deck quickly becoming the favorite of most people to queue up game 1 of this tournament.
Yeah, a lot of people have been playing Druid, and sometimes it's tough to get a read on your opponents when they've been mixing up their strategies, especially given the fact that they can play anything they want at any time. They can switch their decks and their classes between games. You know, a lot of crazy mind games are going on in this situation, so to see him focus on something that can kind of go both ways, but then also have that burst damage at the end, despite the fact that he didn't get to utilize that game, he had strong threats throughout the course of it.
Yeah, he had a bunch of threats throughout the course of the game. Now we're going to find out what they're going to do here in game 2, Ek0p versus Kaldi.
Yeah, I'm curious how Ek0p is exactly going to adjust to something like Druid, because once again, Kaldi's got an idea of maybe how aggressive that Ek0p wants to be, and so one of the decks I think that performs very well versus a freezing trap and sneak trap and piloted shredder and all those sorts of things is just purely face hunter, like just get the damage in, be faster than they are. But Ek0p read that perfectly. He's queuing up Warrior.
Yeah, look at this. We have an Argent Squire here in this hunter deck.
Yeah,
a little interesting.
A couple of different things that's being involved with Argent Squire is that when you expect your opponent to be playing some aggressive decks, at times the Argent Squire can trump the Face Hunter mirror because it can get in efficient trades with their 2/1s, like their Leper Gnomes and their Worgen Infiltrators, Abusive Sergeants, stuff like that. So it is a little bit more of a resilient threat. And even in this situation, we're seeing this Argent Squire is going to stay on the board, and he gets to kill this Armor Smith. This is one of the most problematic cards that Face Hunter has to deal with. But in this position, Kaldi has it checked perfectly.
Yeah, you got to love the fact that it's got some resilience to it. This Divine Shield is going to go very far in this game. You get a ton of value here for Kaldi.
Yep, Ek0p's got Fiery War Axe though, so he's going to start, kind of stifling these early game plays from Kaldi, but he's got Animal Companion behind that. That's not an easy one to answer with a Fiery War Axe. Even if it's something like Huffer that deals 8 points of damage, if it's Leok or Misha, you can't kill it with one swing.
Yeah, just great starts from both players here. Ek0p with a turn 1 Armor Smith, turn 2 Fiery War Axe, turn 3 it looks like he's going to have an Acolyte of Pain, unless some Execute Armor Up shenanigans happen. And then Kaldi with a great start himself here. Turn 1 Argent Squire, turn 2 Glaive Zuka. Both these decks firing on all cylinders so far.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the Haunted Creeper and the Leper Gnome either in this position, because if he does that, he's still in a situation where the Fiery War Axe isn't very strong versus what he's doing. I do like to see the Animal Companion instead, because 2 out of the 3 of these are excellent in this position. Leok is, not the greatest, but it's not terrible on this kind of board. So Abusive Sergeant, great pickup from him. He can make sure that he can clear this Acolyte off without having to invest too much into it, get some board development out of it as well. This is looking like a big advantage over to Kaldi right now.
And you got to believe, he's actually going to Knife Juggler here after as well. He's going to Knife Juggler into the Leper Gnome. I thought there's a chance he might just Leper Gnome and Hero Power here and kind of play around, maybe getting brawled here, but it's actually only 2 turns away. Ek0p's going to be going into 4 mana here.
Yeah, I mean, this is really the big turn to push for damage. He's kind of forced Ek0p's hand in this position, as far from his perspective anyway. He expects the Fiery War Axe to attack Leok here. What he doesn't know is that Ek0p's got copies of Execute and Shield Slam and pretty much everything else he wants in his hand. So he's going to be able to kind of weather this storm, does have to leverage his life total to try to keep it under control, which is, Face Hunter's completely fine with that. They want you to be taking that damage. But look at this, even going to use his Shield Slam very early on to make sure he's at the highest life total possible.
Yeah, he's going to be able to take out 3 minions this turn if he wants to, but he keeps the charge on his Fiery War Axe here, doesn't use it to trade for any of the minions that Kaldi has in play.
I actually really like this play too, because he's got Brawl rolling into turn 5. There's a very high potential that he can Brawl and then swing to clear out the last minion that's left away from that. But 2 Haunted Creepers. Whew.
Yeah, Kaldi has 2 Haunted Creepers to play here into this Brawl. Now, Sludge Belcher was a pretty good draw here. He's going to be able to protect himself here. He doesn't have to Brawl now if he doesn't want to. Now, if he's going to attack this Haunted Creeper, have to believe that he's going to Brawl here this turn.
Yeah, I do like Brawling here instead, though, because you're not sacrificing too much to it. Kaldi's out of cards in his hand, so his pressure is just whatever's coming off the top of the deck. He's in the exact same position he was in game 1, so he gets these couple of extra minions on board, but again, he's got Sludge Belcher to back this up and make sure that he can crush everything that Kaldi's going to throw at him. And
Unleash the Hounds is not a good card to draw here.
Completely dead right now, and he's going to keep this Glaive Zuka around to make sure that he can, maybe fight through something like a Sludge Belcher. But in this position, Ek0p is looking like smooth sailing for the rest of the game for him.
Yeah, Kaldi's going to try to hide behind the Sludge Belcher, picks up Dr. Boom. That's not going to be a bad turn 7 play, but Pilot Shredder picked up for Ek0p. That was a pretty good one.
This Pilot Shredder is really going to help put the pressure on Ek0p here. But the Sludge Belcher really doing a ton of work. Kaldi's going to try to chew through it, and he's going to lose some of his board in the process, but what other options does he have? He has to do something to start pushing for damage. That's what this deck does.
Yeah, this The slime left behind is going to do some serious work here, and then these boom bots coming off this Dr. Boom. You're going to see Ek0p really try to turn this game around.
Yeah, just going to go ahead and play Dr. Boom here anyway. Even against something like Unleash the Hounds, which the fact that Kaldi kept a card in his hand, it's very likely that he has something like that. The fact of the matter is he's starting to get some damage rolling at this point. This could be very dangerous.
Yeah, this is going to be a big turn from Kaldi here. He gets to Unleash the Hounds, use his hero power and his Arcane Golem if he wants to push for just a ton of damage.
Yeah, I mean, I
have to believe he's going to.
There is some merit to holding it, I think, but I would like to see it played anyway just to get extra threats on the board. He's going to hold it, though. Maybe a nod to something like Glaive Zuka or Abusive Sergeant if he draws those. Second Brawl, though, is drawn by Ek0p. This position is now suddenly very, very strange.
Yeah, it's going to be a testy turn for him to navigate here. He's going to do a lot of attacking. I have to believe he might still Shield Maiden, armor up this turn, and gain 7 life, but it just depends on where these bombs. Yeah, there we go. That was a good bomb for Ek0p there.
Yeah, this one will really dictate a lot of things too. I mean, there's a potential here that he Gromished here as well and just took that risk, but he wants to be getting his hero power in every single turn, and at the same time trying to get some pressure behind it. So the Shield Maiden accomplishes both of those goals, and I have to believe that this is a totally fine play, but he may take the risk here with Gromish because Gromish will end the game in 2 turns if he wants to do it that way. Of course, the trade-off being if Kaldi drew any damage, he's very likely dead.
Yeah, but Ek0p decides to just gain 7 life here this turn now. Glaive Zuka, not the worst one here in this spot. Kaldi's trying to finish off these last couple points from Ek0p here, and he's doing everything he can. His last couple turns have been pretty good draws. He's been able to push a ton of damage here. He'll be able to see him push in 9, 11 damage here if he wants it this turn. And Ek0p doesn't have a lot of ways to recover from here. He's got a bunch of big minions to play, but he only can gain 2 life a turn here.
Yeah, I mean, he's down into a spot where if Kaldi draws any damage, he's dead. So something like a shield block would be beautiful for him, but that's not going to be available to him. 12, 19. Oh my gosh, Ek0p's got lethal with that Cruel Taskmaster draw.
10, 12,
19. This is 24 damage. Ek0p just won the game because of that Arcane Golem giving him the extra mana.
Wow, Cruel Taskmaster is going to come in and win this game for Ek0p here if he sees it.
I mean, it's got to be difficult to not count to 24, right? I mean,
I have problems with it sometimes. It's more than my fingers and toes. So.
Yeah, he spots it though. Wow, what a pickup from Ek0p. Cruel Taskmaster and Cruel Taskmaster only was the card that would end the game this turn. But something like Shield Blocker, Shield Maiden would have padded his life total enough to extend this game. So did have a few outs here. But man, look at just like that, the game turns around. This is one of the reasons why Warrior is such a dangerous control deck, is because if it can extend this game into this turn, you always have the threat of that massive burst damage that Gromish can provide. Fantastic game from Ek0p. Was very patient with his Fiery War Axe swing, brawled at the exact right time, picked up that Sludge Belcher, which was super key. Everything went his way.
Yeah, everything went his way, and you know what? Everything went his way that last turn too. That top deck of Cruel Taskmaster, after getting the extra mana crystal there, just perfectly worked out to get the exact amount of damage. He did 24 versus 23, but who's counting? It's only 1.
Gosh, I can't believe that Arcane Golem, the extra mana. It's very rare that that comes back to bite a deck that's quite that aggressive. But in this position, it was a major difference in whether or not Ek0p could win this game. If that was a Wolf Rider instead of an Arcane Golem, I think Ek0p loses.
Yeah, Ek0p probably loses. Doesn't have enough mana to combo out with Gromish and Cruel Taskmaster there. What a game between these two. The series is now tied up 1-1 here, so we got to see who's going to win Game 3 when we come back. Guys, get out there on Twitter. Tell us what you think is going to happen. Use that hashtag HPL. You're watching Hearthstone on PvP Live.